It's good day and welcome to a special section of the program today, and that's talking about the World Cup, the Qatar 2022 World Cup. I am Mudashiru Shitu, and I will be looking at important things at the World Cup, focus on African teams at the World Cup, and also we'll be having a review of the group stages. We know that some teams have played two games, and we are also lastly looking at who is going to win the World Cup. I won't be doing this alone. I have Daniel Ufomadu, who has played his football in France. He also played in some Asia countries, and not forgetting that he tried as much as possible to be part of the set of the Golden English under Fania Amu, but time and chance was not able to him to be part of that. But nevertheless, he took his journey of his career away from the country and traveled across the globe to make sure that he get the best of his best in career. And now he's back home and he's shuffling between France and Nigeria. You're welcome, Daniel Ufomadu, onto the program.
Yeah, thank you, Shitu.
But, let me start with you. I'm sure that before we go into the World Cup proper, has it been trying to make sure that your football career so far?
Well, thank you. I think, being a football player, I was, invited to under 17, but, maybe due to one thing or the other, I could not make the squad. Then I keep on, waxing stronger, then still looking ahead, to see how I can make my professional career. But fortunately for me, I still moved to Asia, in India. Then from there, I make my way to France, where I played some lower division. Actually, I went to third division, but things did not work. Then I went to another team in the lower division. So I played there for a couple of seasons, then before getting retired due to injury.
Okay. Yeah, it's a career nevertheless, because not everybody is going to be the Ronaldos, not everybody is going to, because in national team they just needed just 12, they needed 11 out of the millions that want to be part of them. Your career before we go to the World Cup, another one, is there any bit of regret? What will you do you should have done better, or what do you think for those watching us that also want to take career into football?
Well, one thing is this, being a football player, you are dedicated, to play the game, to see that you play to top level, So for me personally, I can only advise the young players coming up that never give up. But just keep pushing yourself, keep working hard, and then make sure that you have a good sport manager or an agent that can lead you to a better club. And then nevertheless, like the football officials here, I'm urging teams in Nigeria, they should just give young players opportunity, instead of them traveling abroad, so they should just give them the opportunity so that they can be able to make impact in football and for the country.
Now that you're a football manager, now that, why is it difficult for people that go into football and after retirement, at the end of the career, they still want to stay around football? A few of them go elsewhere in another career. Why that most of the time? Because you are planning as much as possible. You have a football, you're a club manager. You're planning as much as possible to have your own club, and you're planning as much as possible to even be a football pundit. So why football? Why only few leave football after they retire?
Yeah, one thing is because it's in the blood. Football is in the blood, and then if you're a professional player, as soon as you resign, what you'll be thinking is what you want to do, evolve yourself around the game. So that's the most important thing. So for me personally, I think the love of the game is there. I have the passion, and then I want to still make an impact, despite not playing for national team, despite not playing maybe for League One or even the German Bundesliga. But I just want to make awareness, to see how I can run football in this country. Maybe working with some professional team or an academy, which I've done in the past. There's an academy I was working with, So I think being a player, a former player, you just need to evolve yourself around the game to make sure that you giving your best, to make sure that, football, with the experience I had in Europe, watching the game, playing, interacting with people, clubs, and then I think I've seen a lot of advancement in football in Europe. So I'm trying to bring it down to impact in some young players to see how I can take them to another level.
Okay, now let's take our mind, our focus, and the focus of our viewers from Daniel Ufomadu, who has done so well for himself. And let's shift the focus to Qatar 2020. And the focus is going to be on African teams in Qatar. That's not, we just some days ago, we have Senegal recording the first win. That's Qatar 2022. Let's see how Senegal giving us our first win in the tournament. So far, so good for you. What can you say about the African teams? We have Morocco there, we have Tunisia there, we have Ghana there, and what can you say?
Yeah, I think it's a very good. Yesterday victory was nice for Africans. I think the Senegal team came, after losing the first game, so they came back, making a point on the continent and then also in the world at large. Even despite not playing Mane, he's injured. I think the Senegalese, they came up with a good performance. So for me, I watched the game and I see them, despite the playing against Qatar, because Qatar is the host, and then Senegal didn't give up. They came with confidence. They came with everything to give to the Qatarians. So I think I'm very proud being an African. Being Nigeria is not there, but the Senegal, I think they give a good account of themselves.
Why does it have to take so long for, after many games, for us to have the first win? At least after like 4 games, we also have a first win. We have Tunisia drawing and all that. Why did it have to take so long? What do you think was missing?
Okay, like in the African team, what is missing in the African team?
For them to have our first win, Senegal just gave us our first win.
Yeah, you can see, World Cup is a very big tournament, as you can see. And then, the players need to believe in themselves. They need to have the confidence because this is the world stage. So some are coming in for the first time. Depend on the game's plan. It depends on the country you are playing. So I think Morocco played the goalless draw, then Tunisia as well. Then, even I think the performance of Morocco and Tunisia is still okay for them to play goalless draw. Then if you look at Cameroon lost their first game, which was a big blow. Then Ghana at the same time, Ghana did the same because Ghana was, almost at the edge of making a history despite equalizing the game through Ayo. But, in just few minutes to the end of the second half, so they lose concentration. Because World Cup is a kind of game when you are playing, you have to focus on those, you have to focus on every minute of the game. It's not where you can, if you any moment you lose concentration, the opponent will just give you what you never expected. So that's what happened to Ghana, and then Portugal
Let's look at the Ghana-Portugal game. Let's look at the Ghana-Portugal game. The penalty call that we were told that doesn't need penalty, and Ghana almost made it 3-3. Do you think they lost gallantly, though it was a loss on the side, the Ghanaian side, with Ronaldo even in the game, Ronaldo had to score via penalty. We have João Felix also extending the lead and all that. But do you think the Ghanaian side lost gallantly? It was nothing to be ashamed because the game Portuguese side played with us before they left for the country, for the World Cup, and they defeated us for, I think, 4-0.
Yeah.
Compare and contrast. Do you think Ghana lost gallantly? Because we did not lose gallantly. We lost and we played woefully according to reports and statistics. So now, do you think the Ghanaian side did so well despite the loss?
Well, yeah, like you said, you see the Portugal team is a very good side. They have been consistent with Cristiano Ronaldo. And then I think if you look at the performance of Super Eagles against the Portuguese, I think it was below performance because the Eagles did not fly like an eagle. So, they are not in the World Cup, but maybe at the FIFA ranking, we should have done better, to see that, okay, Super Eagles, we are still there, but they lost woefully. So if you talk about Ghana against Portugal, you can see that the Ghanaians, they really impressed me, despite coming down, despite 3-1 at that score. when Ayo Pele, the son of Abedi Pele, was substituted. So, but due to ill chance, ill luck, when they got that, they scored 2. Then along the line, you can see that there was a slippery. The one of the striker, Williams.
Okay, yeah.
The keeper put the ball down.
Yeah, okay.
Then it just for Williams to take the ball. Then
from the back.
Yeah, then he slip off. That should have been a victory. That should have been an equalizer. It's like, it should have been like a victory for Ghana, because for them coming, even though if it's draw, So I think Ghana gave good account of themselves, and I hope maybe in their next game they should just come out and then make Africa and Ghana proud.
And we also know that the Cameroon side, Apedi Samuel Eto'o, who is the president of Cameroon Football Federation, said that before the World Cup that Cameroon might go far and win the World Cup. He said in the final is going to be between Cameroon and Morocco, which a lot of people were asking him, what is happening to, what kind of bold prediction is that? Do you think any side, from the games you've seen and from the analysis and the report, an African side can equal the record of the quarterfinal?
Well, so far, like what I've seen the African team played, maybe some few matches now. So for me, what I'm looking at, I just see, because it just maybe 70-30 for African team. Because if you watch Morocco, watch Tunisia, then watch Cameroon losing their first game, and then even Ghana. So if you look at it very well, you see the chances are very slim, except they have to, improve on their performance. Then if you look at maybe, if you see Senegal can have maybe an edge. Senegal could have an edge over other African teams if they can go for victory in their next game. Then maybe Tunisia, for the African team, maybe Tunisia. So that's just it.